What is going on, guys? We're seeing back a brand new video, and today we'll be reviewing the third day of testing from Jerez for the F1 2015 season. Felipe Nasr topped the timesheets for the third day of testing in his Sauber. Pretty shock result, although of course he has the Sauber has come second in the previous 2 days. It was a bit of a surprise to see the Sauber up there, especially after such a torrid 2014 season. They pretty much never topped any timesheets, and even though it is testing, it's a pretty good achievement from Sauber, and that Ferrari engine, I have to say, is looking very, very reliable. In second was Kimi Räikkönen in the Ferrari. Pretty trouble-free day for him, got 92 laps in, just to add to the consistency that Ferrari is showing. It looks, the engine I think is probably one of the most reliable in the grid so far. From what we're seeing, Räikkönen's said it's a completely different beast to the 2014 car. Whether it's, I suppose, down at Mercedes, they're saying it's, similar to the 2014 car. So it's a step in the right direction for Ferrari, definitely. They completely, gone away from the 2014 car. That was a bit of a mess, to be honest, similar to McLaren. They just want to move on, kind of a new challenge. Even though it's the same engine, supplier, of course, Ferrari, they do seem to be have improved their engines over the winter, which is definitely, I think, what Ferrari were lacking, to be honest, in terms of engine power. They were, losing out a lot to the Mercedes. So speaking of Mercedes, Nico Rosberg was third on today's timesheet. He managed to do 151 laps, despite encountering a problem which brought out a red flag. It's surprising to see them still being able to complete 151 laps despite a problem, despite missing part of the session. They still managed to do that many laps. Had they not had the problem, then who knows what they could have done. Maybe towards the 175 laps mark. We'll have to see, of course, tomorrow if Hamilton encounters any problems. We've seen 2 problems from Mercedes over the last 2 days, but I wouldn't think it was too much to worry about. They're probably just really pushing the car, and this is what usually happens, of course, when you push the car. You find problems, and then the teams will try and solve those problems. In fourth was Felipe Massa. Going to get those mixed up probably a bit, aren't we, during the season, Massa and Nasr. But yeah, Felipe Massa. A pretty uneventful day for him. He managed to complete 71 laps, and uneventful is pretty good, to be honest, in F1 testing. You don't want to have too many problems. He was 7/10 off Felipe Nasr's time. Williams have been pretty quiet during this test, to be honest. They haven't had any failures, I don't believe, and they haven't really topped any timesheets. They're kind of just being always around the kind of mid-pack, and I don't think that's too much to worry about for them. I think they're just probably going quite under the radar, and then boom, I think will arrive quite big on the scene in Australia. In fifth was Pastor Maldonado in the Lotus. Some good day of running for Maldonado. He managed to get 96 laps in. That's the most Lotus have done so far. So it's certainly their best day yet, despite encountering some problems with telemetry in the morning. Definitely a great recovery from Maldonado. In sixth was Carlos Sainz Jr. in the Toro Rosso Renault. He managed to do 136 laps. That's pretty good. That's the most we've seen from a non-Mercedes car so far. And I think it's the third biggest total as well, of course, behind Rosberg from day 1 and Rosberg from day 3. So great effort from Carlos Sainz Jr. Toro Rosso just seemed to be going from strength to strength, not topping timesheets, a bit like Williams, I suppose, but the reliability is certainly there. Talking of reliability, let's talk about the opposite, unreliability, and that's exactly what the Red Bull and McLaren were both today, much like day 2. Although McLaren did get 32 laps in, that's of course 26 laps more than they did on day 1 or day 2, but still encountering problems. Alonso, and Button should be pretty happy, but the time was 14 seconds off, basically because they were only drove in the first half of the session today, which was wet after some overnight rain. Missed out on the dry session in the afternoon, but something I suppose they can be a bit more happier. Fernando and Jensen, I suppose their car's done a lot more laps today, but still needs a bit of an improvement, and hopefully we'll see some good running from them, of course, when Button takes over tomorrow for the final day of testing. Daniel Ricciardo had to change his engine and only got to put in some short runs, only 48 laps, so not the best day for Red Bull and McLaren. Great days once again for Sauber and Ferrari. Pretty average days for Williams, Lotus and Toro Rosso, but yes, pretty average day for Williams and Lotus, and some fantastic running and reliability from Mercedes and Toro Rosso. So be sure to join me then tomorrow for my review of the final day of testing from Jerez for the F1 2015 season. I'm Sutil Racing, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.